Welcome to the Steve and Bobby Show. My name's Steve Williams, and I'm here with Bobby Bliatu. We got all kind of stuff going on, as usual, in the world of Trump.
All kinds of stuff going on.
In the world of the United States.
This is America.
This is America. And so there's all kind of, we have all kind of stuff going that happened actually last week. There was so much stuff going on last week.
Yeah.
We kind of discussed about it, talked about it. But there was a couple things that kind of went under the radar. That was not, it came out, it was a minor little news story, and then it kind of disappeared, which I think is a little bit bigger than it should be, or bigger than it was presented.
Right.
I think that's the best way to
Right.
say.
It's a lot of stuff that we are actually being put on hold, and we're trying to figure out what the heck is going on, right? Because you're seeing everyone denying subpoenas. You see Donald Trump not wanting to work, his administration not wanting to work with Congress, not wanting to work with the Democrats, right? He walked out in 3 minutes. 3 minutes? In less than 3 minutes, he walked out.
They said there wasn't even a seat.
3 minutes.
There wasn't even a seat there for him to sit down in. So it's like, and you know, another thing they were reporting was prior to him in that meeting, before, Fox was already reporting that he wasn't coming to the meeting.
Yeah, I mean, they knew it. They put it in there, you know.
Yeah,
there's a lot of jokes about someone not lasting 3 minutes, but anyways.
Hey, that stuff's generic now. It's a generic brand.
But what is interesting is that, you know, news came out about Michael Flynn and possible new evidence.
That guy is always in the. Do you notice that?
Yeah.
You ever notice about that guy?
Right. Just popping in and popping out.
He just, it's like he's peeping. Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still here. You know what I mean? It's like crazy.
Absolutely.
Bring up. You're about to bring it up. You want me to bring it up?
Well, yeah.
So this happened last week. I think. I think you were. This was the last week thing that just got kind of brushed up under the rug. Didn't get pushed out too much. But so Michael Flynn, I guess it's now. There was a court case. I guess this is the reason why it came up. I guess.
Right.
There was a court case where either the media, somebody was getting information for to find out some communications that was going on with Gant, which was Michael Gant, which is Donald Trump's personal lawyer, and Michael Flynn, right? So I guess we had the conversation that was going on was redacted in the Mueller report, right? So what William Barr presented to everybody was a redacted form of it. So I guess there was a judgment, and it was a force of release on what was actually in that, what we didn't see.
Right.
So that Mueller report that was out, that we reported on, that was all over, that we talked about, this was actually redacted, so nobody knew about this. There was first of all, let's let Rachel Maddow, because she actually can talk about it a little bit better, as in what happened last week. Let's put that up.
So a federal judge in Washington, D.C. today issued an order that's not very long. It's only this long. And even though it's this short and it's this straightforward, I could not believe it when I first read it. I read it backwards and forwards and convinced myself this isn't what it said. But this is from Judge Emmett Sullivan. He's a Washington, D.C. federal judge. He is the judge in the Michael Flynn case. And in this little order, Judge Sullivan is now ordering the government, the prosecutors in this case, he's ordering them to remove all of the redactions from the Mueller report that have anything to do with the Mike Flynn case. This judge today says take out those redactions and then publish that unredacted version of Mueller's report. Quote, the government is ordered to file on the public docket in this case by no later than May 31st an unredacted version of those portions of the special counsel's report that relate to Mr. Flynn. Signed, Judge Emmett G. Sullivan.
So Rachel Maddow kind of explained it pretty good. Mm-hmm. So they're redacting that, and you actually corrected me.
Taking out the redaction.
Yeah.
Right.
So
taking out the redaction.
And there's a tape too, by the way. There was a tape that was specific as to what was in that recording that was handed over in that Mueller report. So let's discuss it. Flynn gave a tape of a recording of Trump's lawyer, Gant, to Mueller.
Right.
Okay, so that's what happened. And in that were some specifics, which is, let's put this first image in. This is what it says. It says, persons connect, let's put up real quick on there we go. So, persons connected to the administration or Congress could have affected both Flynn's willingness to cooperate and the completeness of that cooperation. So there's a key word in there, just key phrasing in there, right? So you can leave that up. Go ahead and leave that up for a sec. The key phrase here is persons connected to the administration or Congress, right? So the big thing is who are they talking about, right? Who in the administration are they talking about? Who in Congress are they talking about? And that's these when you get these redacted things, you got to like kind of put the puzzles together. You know what I mean? And this is what's happening. And I think this is what Trump relies on. He likes the fact that everything, when William Barr put it out, Trump's not guilty, right? But we don't know what's under the redacted. And this is one of these things where we're saying we have to know what's in the redacted part of the Mueller report, because then when it's slow like this, the public just brushes it away, just like this. Right? Nobody even knew about it. I think you were the one who told me about it because it was so low under the radar. You see what I'm saying? So when you don't know what's going on or some of the stuff that's happening.
Right, it's tied to some case.
It's tied to something.
It's tied to some case somewhere, and we don't know what it is, right? And so the mere fact that it's going to be now public, we get to see what it is. We get to see who is involved in trying to obstruct justice, who is involved in trying to get Michael Flynn to keep from giving everything or making, or, obstructing justice, interfering in the investigation of Robert Mueller. So we're going to see that evidence, and that's going to come out by May 31st.
And we're going to find out.
We think it'll come out by May 31st, right?
So we're talking about Michael Gant, the personal attorney of Trump. This is what he said. We don't actually have this, so I'm going to kind of read this to the audience right now. It says, this is Gant talking to Flynn. Okay, it says, it wouldn't surprise me if you've gone on to make a deal with the government, which is Flynn, gone on to make a deal with the government, if there's information that implicates the president that we got a national security issue. So we need some kind of heads up. To me, that's obstruction. So that's the attorney talking to Flynn that, hey, if you told Mueller something, you need to let us know because you need to give us a heads up. Come on, man. That's obstruction of justice. That's obstruction of justice that leads to the attorney. If you want to say Trump has no idea about it, that's fine. I'll go with that. Michael Gant was obstructing justice. And here's another thing, too. People forget that President Obama, I remember when this was in the news, President Obama actually warned Trump himself about this issue. We got a video on this. Hey, let's put this video up. This is an older video that is in the archives. Okay, check this archive video of 2.5 years ago. Check it out.
On the surface, it seemed like a cordial meeting between an outgoing president and his successor in the Oval Office, just 2 days after a bitter election. But behind closed doors, former Obama administration officials tell CNN President Obama offered then President-elect Trump a clear warning. Don't hire retired General Michael Flynn as national security advisor. One Obama official said Mr. Obama told Mr. Trump there were more qualified people for the position. That caution from one president to another came more than a month and a half before Flynn spoke with the Russian ambassador about sanctions on Moscow, and nearly 2 months before Flynn was fired by President Trump for not coming clean on the conversation.
It's true that President Obama made it known that he wasn't exactly a fan of General Flynn's.
So that is what was being reported 2.5 years ago. Remember that?
He knew.
I remember this. He knew.
He knew.
Yeah.
He knew. And it was there, and he still did it anyway.
He did it anyway. Check this out. So it's funny because Sean Spicer was on Fox News just the other day, right? And watch how he breezes through the fact that Obama warned him.
Right.
Check this out. How he breezed through where Obama warned Trump. Check this out.
Any thoughts on this question? And this was after you left, because this is after when the investigation was going on. Who, in Congress or perhaps in the White House or potentially both, Charles Pierce writes in Esquire, the Congress element is a lovely bit of business. Lindsey Graham, Tom Cotton, Devin Nunes, some as yet unknown administration tool, he writes, on someone's staff, the mind reels. What do you say to that, Sean?
Well, I think that, with respect to Flynn, two things come to mind. Number one, there was the comment that you played earlier about General Flynn not being Obama or somebody warning him. And while that was true, we've got to remember the context it was in. After President Obama and every Democrat had accused the president of all sorts of things during the campaign trail, he makes a comment apparently in passing during a meeting that they had. We had plenty of opportunities to be briefed. They had all the intelligence chief come up and brief us on January 6th. Why didn't someone pull them aside then? Why didn't one of the intelligence chiefs say, Mr. President, I need to speak with you briefly, privately, as they did on other matters?
So he skips the stuff about who's involved.
Goes right on past it.
Who's involved. He's not even going to talk about that.
Yeah.
And then he goes to say what? Why didn't he do it? Why did he do it during in passing at a meeting? Generally, I know when we have a meeting, we're not in passing. We're in a meeting in a private place. It's not like they didn't have a meeting in the hallway. It wasn't a meeting in the hallway. Right. It wasn't a passing in the hallway. Right. It wasn't a conversation of transition.
Right.
It's like, hey, buddy, by the way, please.
And you know what's insulting?
Don't hire this guy.
You know what's insulting by that too is the fact that, oh, well, why didn't he have the national chief? As though President Obama, remember he was president of the United States. He's over the national chief advice, right? President Obama himself should have been enough. Hey, don't hire this guy. This guy's trouble. Right. But it wasn't enough.
Nope.
Right? Why didn't they pull the national chief? Why didn't he, pull Mr. Trump aside and say, no, the President Obama told you. President Obama's getting information from all over.
Spicer was fired, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Why is he supporting him and defending him this way? Huh?
I have no idea. I have and here's the thing is I kind of want to repeat how they breeze through the fact, because remember we talked about persons connected to the administration or Congress. Well, I guess we get names now. We're getting specific names. Fox, put it on there. Let's put it back on there of what they said. We're going to repeat it.
Any thoughts on this question? And this was after you left, because this is after when the investigation was going on. Who, in Congress or perhaps in the White House or potentially both, Charles Pierce writes in Esquire, the Congress element is a lovely bit of business. Lindsey Graham, Tom Cotton, Devin Nunes, some as yet unknown administration tool, he writes, on someone's staff.
So I love how, Lindsey Graham, Tom Cotton, and don't forget who Tom Cotton is. Tom Cotton, during the Obama administration, after Obama told Iran, do you remember they made that deal with Iran that a lot of the Republicans didn't like? Mm-hmm. Tom Cotton was the one that wrote that, where he got all these Republicans and sent it to the Iranians and said, hey, don't listen to what Obama said. Do you remember that? That's the Tom Cotton that we're talking about.
The one that's defending a lot of stuff. Actually, I heard him last night speak out against Trump and his decisions that he's making right now. But that's different. These are all folks, these names are folks who appear on Fox News all the time.
And we got a local guy.
Lindsey Graham, Tom Cotton, and who else?
Devin Nunes, right? And this is why this is important, because for all y'all that don't know, Devin Nunes
I think they all know who Devin Nunes is.
Well, I'm talking about outside. There's a lot of people that watch this outside our district, the 22, right? Yeah. So he's our personal congressional leader right here. He is the Republican guy. Devin Nunes is just he's just a bucket of rocks, that guy. But I know that's just not politically correct to say that mess, but that guy is just, to me, it's embarrassing, some of the stuff that guy does. So, and we're going to talk about him, Devin Nunes, in the second segment of this. And I kind of want to put that segue in there because it's, you know what I mean? Because we're going to be talking about Devin Nunes. And there's this is serious matters that we're talking about here with Devin Nunes and a lot of things that he's doing with the Trump administration. And it's just kind of funny how his name just pops up again, right? It's on the radar again.
Comes right back.
So, you guys watch did you want to add anything to?
I just want to say thank you guys for watching.
Yeah, definitely.
Continue on to the next segment. We're out of here at Mad Talk TV shows. This is the Steve and Bobby Show. Thank you for watching. Catch us in a little bit.